Hi, I'm Sienna and I am back with another tarot video. And today we're talking about the numbered cards. Now, I've tried to cut this video a couple times now, and I keep getting stuck at this point because of what these number cards really mean. So, first of all, I'm going to direct you back to the Tree of Life, right? Um, and the Tree of Life has the numbered Sephiroths. And you might have guessed by now that those numbered Sephiroths line up with the numbered cards. And you may have even guessed that the numbered cards in their four suits of cups and swords and wands and discs uh, are going to influence those numbers and their meanings. And that is exactly how this works. However, in order to get into the itty bitty meanings of all of these different cards, I really do have to come back to what the Tarot Tree of Life means. So I'm going to share this screen. Um, let's see, push that button there, push this button here, and then we share this. Okay, here we go. So here's the tarot handout that I've been talking about all along. And over here we have the beautiful colorized version of the Kabbalistic Tree of Life. Now I'm going to zoom in here and bear with me for a moment. What we see here in the Kabbalistic Tree of Life is that there's so many correspondences to each one of these. Oh, please. I really am annoyed with that noise. So this is as close as it's going to let me get. But I'm going to ask all of you to Google, yes, I said Google, the Kabbalistic Tree of Life, and it doesn't even matter how you spell it. It will self-correct you. And then do an image search. And what you'll find is that you will get a million hits of something that looks like this. Now, I want to point out to you on this slide here, let's see what I can do as far as bringing that up a little bit closer for us. You see, we have the plus and the minus, okay? That's the indicator of these arrows, okay? And I want you to understand these not as good and bad, as positive or negative, but as addition and subtraction. So this takes, the downside is universal energies, the divine energy coming down into the earth. And then the arrows that go up is the energy that we have to put out to reach the divine. Okay, enough said there. So let's talk about what these numbers are doing. What we see though is the 2 and the 3 are, of course, all the 2s and all the 3s, plus their suit. Now, remember in the last video, we said that the suits were equivalent to earth, air, fire, and water, which is stability, thought, action, and emotion in that order. So when we look at the 2s and the 3s, we want to see earth, air, fire, and water added to wisdom on the 2 and understanding on the 3. So let me take a minute and explain the difference between wisdom and understanding. When you are one dot in the universe, you have an idea of I am, right? This is the idea of Kether, the I am piece. When you see another individual that you actually can relate to, this is the idea of Chachma, of the wisdom that I am not the only thing in the universe, that this divine energy that is the seat of me also has a pair, another person to relate to that has also that divine energy. And this understanding that I am not the only divine seat in the universe is kind of where we see that Fool card, right? But we also add that to earth, air, fire, and water for all of the 2 cards. So let's see what those look like as cards. So I will tell you, these photographs of my cards are cheap and easy, done with my telephone, not with my cell phone, not with my scanner. And what I've done is a mirror image of the Rider-Waite versus the Thoth deck. So here we have that 2 energy, that there's only a me and you in the universe. And this feeling of Ouroboros with the disc card is almost, well, you see it here in the Rider-Waite as well. That's an idea that that 2 card is representing for the combination with the element of earth, right? And I don't want to take and belabor each and every card, because that kind of cancels out what the tarot really is supposed to be doing, which is for you, the reader, the person with the cards in your hands, to look at the images involved and to see what they mean to you. The first thing I will tell you is anybody who tells you that you're doing it wrong doesn't know anything about tarot. The fact is that this structure here and the 4 suited cards that we saw in lesson 1 and the 22 major arcana that we also saw in lesson 1, they were not all developed at the same time. We human beings keep overlaying this stuff. So there is no right way to do it. There's no wrong way to do it. There's an accepted kind of, yeah, now we can talk about it in a certain way. But trust me when I tell you that you will make a relationship with every one of these 2s that has something to do with its place on the tree, but also something to do with how you interpret earth, air, fire, and water. So let's move on to the 3s. Okay, so we see 3 over here is understanding. And what we're talking about with understanding is, okay, there was you and me. That's this one over here. Understanding makes 3, right? So when we add a 3rd person to a conversation, it blows up the conversation. When we add a 3rd point on a map, we can triangulate a position. This is the idea of Binah, of understanding, of having that 3rd point of reference. And we see the energy coming up in that sphere, which means we have to put some energy into Binah. We have to put some energy of our own into understanding what's going on. So let's look at the cards. And I have colored my backgrounds to match these lovely spheres here. So let's go to the 3s. And I love this image here, the 3 of Swords, which is understanding in air. And air is supposed to be intellect. Wait a minute. Understanding in the intellect. Why is the image of a heart with 3 swords in it? Well, think about what it means to have 3 people in your heart, right? Sometimes it's a little painful. Think about what it means to have 3 things going on that you have to pay attention to. Sometimes that's a little struggly. So this is what we have with this heart. And this is your ultimate image of tarot, especially the Rider-Waite, in my personal opinion. In the meantime, we see the 3 of discs in the Crowley deck is labeled works. Okay, this Crowley deck likes to put labels on cards, and it kind of does influence the way you're going to see these cards. The 3 of Cups being abundance, right? Which is thinking of the understanding of what it means to have that much emotion going on in that realm at the top of the tree. So the last thing I want to make a point of before I end this video is that this triangle at the top of the tree here is very etheric. Okay, it's a higher vibrational energy, which means it doesn't have a whole lot of earthly repercussions. we can stay up here in our heads and try to figure things out. But really, this triangle is without the ground underneath it. Those three cards, what the aces, the twos, and the threes, really don't have a solid earthly grasp. So let that float around in your brain for a little bit longer, and we'll come back here doing the next triangle down, which would be the fives, the fours, the fives, and sixes. Okay, and eventually we'll get our way all the way down to the tree. All right, stop this. Okay, so that is the twos and the threes at the top of the tree. And the next time we will come back and we will be doing the further triangles down. And everybody have a fantastic night and practice those short readings. All right, take care.